so on, until the next Friday. So this is Allah has promised us. So all of you children who know Surah, who know to recite should start reciting the Surah Kahf. In Surah Kahf, we have 5 stories. All 5 of them actually teach us some important matters. And if we can, it is not just reciting, parrot-wise reciting and then saying, okay, I'm going to get all the tawaf. No. Actually, it is more of studying the stories and understanding the concepts behind it and what are the lessons it is teaching us and trying to use it in our lives. That is what really will give you life in your life. In the sense, you will be able to look forward to tomorrow with the bright expectation, with happiness, with positive attitude, and knowing that everything is going to be okay because Allah is there. Right. Now, Musa alayhi salam, he was the prophet, I told you all, who had lived for a long, long time. He had a lot of followers and he was so important that the prophet who is mentioned in the Quran more than anybody else. Anybody else. Right? More than Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, more than Adam alayhi salam, more than Ibrahim alayhi salam. The one who is mentioned most is Musa alayhi salam, because Musa alayhi salam's people did a lot of things that we also might do, the rights and the wrongs and things like that, and we can learn from what Allah is telling us. Right. So why I have put here the sea thing is Musa alayhi salam met Khidr alayhi salam floating in the sea like last time I told you. Okay. Now what happened was Musa alayhi salam one day was giving the khutbah, like all the prophets teach all the good things and the right things to their people. So one day he was giving, and one of the people there asked Musa alayhi salam, who is the most knowledgeable person? So Musa alayhi salam thought, okay, I'm the prophet now. Of course, Harun alayhi salam also was there. Harun alayhi salam is Musa alayhi salam's younger brother, whom Allah made him also a prophet so that he can help Musa alayhi salam. But Musa alayhi salam was the one who was guiding everybody, and Harun alayhi salam was helping him. And now Musa alayhi salam has crossed over the sea. You all know the sea being divided into 2. If you don't know, one day I will do that story also. And now his people are all listening to him and following him and so on. Here they ask now who is the most knowledgeable. So Musa alayhi salam thought and said, okay, I'm the prophet here in the world at the moment. So it must be me. So he said, I'm the most knowledgeable in the world at the moment. Allah did not like it, right? Because we must always remember, whatever we are, wherever we are, whatever situation we are not the most, the best and the most and everything of anything than Allah. So whenever we are asked who is the most knowledgeable, who is the one who has everything, who is the one who can see everything, who is the one who has maximum amount of treasures and properties and money, first of all, we must think of Allah. So Allah told Musa alayhi salam, no, you are not the most knowledgeable. We should have said Allah is the most knowledgeable. Of course, Musa alayhi salam knew Allah is the most knowledgeable. But see, even when we speak, we have to be aware of all these things. But also, Allah said, in this world, you are not the most knowledgeable. There are other people whom you don't know. So, go to such and such a person and ask him to teach you. So then Musa alayhi salam asked, how do I know? Where is he? Who is he? Then Allah said, he is also a prophet. He said, you will find him at this special place. A place where a miracle will happen. And Allah told him what the miracle was. So Musa alayhi salam said, okay. And then he told his servant, These were the most, who is the most knowledgeable? Musa alayhi salam said, I. Right? Then Allah said, no, do I need the servant of mine who is more knowledgeable than you? I have given other people more knowledge than you. So Musa alayhi salam said, okay, I will go. Now he asked his servant to come along with him. And he told the servant, okay, cook something for us. Because we don't know how long we will be traveling, how many days we'll be traveling, and how far we'll be going, and we don't know whether we will be having food and things like that. So bring something prepared and come. And then they were going. And they were going and going and going and going and going. For a long time they were going. Then at last Musa alayhi salam felt very tired and hungry and thirsty. Then he sat down on a stone and told the servant, okay, come and sit down and bring our actually he had I'm still muted. Um, they had actually rested at various places, but now he said, okay, now bring the lunch, let us eat now. Then the servant said, hello, I forgot to tell you. You know what happened when we stopped at the earlier place? Where there was, they have sat near a sea, in the seashore. They said, where we sat there, I forgot to tell you, the fish that I had cooked and brought suddenly became alive and jumped into the sea like this, right? Jumped into the sea, and in the sea, there was something like a canal that opened up, and into this fish ran away. And Musa alayhi salam said, why didn't you tell me? That's not something that happens every day. Now, why didn't you tell me? Oh, Shaitan only made me forget. See, this is what we also say, right? We say, when we forget something, Shaitan made me forget. Because of Shaitan, we did a bad thing, we did the wrong thing. No, we can't put the blame on Shaitan. It is our own responsibility. Then Musa alayhi salam said, that is the place we should have come in search of. Let's go back there. So they went back all the way to where the servant said, this is where the fish became alive and jumped into the sea and ran. Then Musa alayhi salam came out to the place. He was looking at somebody who was just floating in the sea. And he was floating like that. You know, you and I also can float in the sea. This one, we don't know whether he was floating like that or whatever. He was just floating. Then Musa alayhi salam went up to him and said, Assalamu alaikum. Then that person said, Musa salam, why? Then he said, Musa was Rasul. I had been asked to come and see you. And also he knew that this is the person because it is said either he was wearing green or where he was floating, the sea was green. So his name is Khalir, right? Khalir alayhi salam. Khalir, the Khalir comes from the word name, from the word akhlaru. Akhlaru is green. Or some imams say because his knowledge is like so green. When you say green, so wonderful, so luscious and so full. So he was named Khalir, Allahu Allah. So Musa alayhi salam said, okay. Then Khalir alayhi salam spoke to Musa alayhi salam, said, okay, what do you want? Then he said, Allah said for me to come and learn with you a little bit of knowledge that you have. And Khalir alayhi salam said, no. You can't learn from me. Because the knowledge that I have, to learn that, you have to have a lot of patience. You have to be very patient until I explain everything. You won't be able to stay impatient and you can't. Then Musa alayhi salam said, no, please let me come with you. Allah had asked me to come with you. Inshallah, I will be patient. I will try to be patient. Right? Then Khalir alayhi salam said, okay, if you're coming, you have to follow my rules. Right? My rule is you person doing it? How come that he can do something like that? You can't ask any questions. You must be quiet. Advi, can you just check that chat now and then if there is anything?
No, nothing so far.
Okay. Right. So,
Only thing is the volume is very low.
is it still?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
and the earlier this the Manasa, it was perfectly all right.
No. Mine is at 100, the volume. And still your voice is low.
Can you all hear today better?
Miss, it's a bit low. Yeah, Miss, it's a bit low. Yes, Miss.
But you all can hear, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, right.
Yes.
Then that's done. Okay. Right. Then I'll get close to the computer and speak and then see whether it will be okay. Right. So they said, okay, let's go. And he said, okay, you can't ask any questions. Musa said, okay, I won't ask any questions. And when they were going, this is what, he was floating around and he met him. Right. Okay. When they were going, a boat came. Right. Some poor people, they were riding the boat and coming. And they were coming and speaking to Khalil Islam, you are here. Islam alaikum, what are you doing here? And all. Then Musa, Khalil Islam said, I have to cross this river. Can you take me across? So these people, their job was to take people across the river, right? Because this river is not like the small rivers that we have here. It's a huge river. So for them to cross over, you need a boat, and it's very deep. So he said, okay. They said, okay, come, get in. We will take you across. And then Musa alayhi salam and Hilal alayhi salam got onto the boat. And these people start paddling so that it was going to the other side. And while they were going there was a small side story, right? This is not about Hilal and Musa alayhi salam, but it comes in the hadith, right? The side story. Now, Musa al-Islam was looking at Hilal al-Islam and thinking, okay, you are given a lot more knowledge than me, but I want to get all the knowledge that Allah has given anybody. How can I get? So he asked Hilal al-Islam, how can I get all the knowledge that Allah has? How can I get it? Because he wanted to learn and he wanted to be a better person and he wanted to teach the other people also. And when he asked, Hilal al-Islam smiled and said, and just at that time, at the tip of the boat, a tiny bird came and sat. That the bird was trying to drink water from the river. Right? It was just dipping its beak into the water and drinking little by little. Then Hilal al-Islam said, you thinking that you can know Allah's knowledge, all the knowledge is lie. If this bird thinks that it can empty this river with its tiny beak, how impossible that is. How many millions of years will it take? Will it be possible? No, it won't be possible. So it is like that. You will never be able to learn Allah's knowledge fully. So the same thing with us also. Even now we are all the time finding new discoveries, new kinds of fish and animal and so on, scientific discoveries about the universe, about the other things in the universe, all that we are learning. All that is Allah's creation, all that is Allah's knowledge. So Khalil alayhi salam said, you will never be able to know. You just have to learn whatever that you can in your lifetime and you have to practice it. Okay. So they were going like that. And when they reached the other end of this one, right. When they reached the other end of the shore, at the end of the river, Hilal alayhi salam just got down and then took a knife from his pocket and quickly made a big hole on the bottom of the boat. Before that, even the people said, okay, you can go now. We don't want even money from you. We know you and you know us, so it is all right. But in spite of that, Hilal al-Islam made a hole in the boat. Musa al-Islam was flabbergasted. He was so shocked. What is this? Those people helped you, poor people, and they have this boat, they are earning from that, and they took you and they brought you here without even taking money. They said, no need to pay. And what are you doing? You are making a hole in their boat, and what is happening now? Their boat is spoiled, and they can't earn also, and now they'll have to start. Then Bilal al-Islam said, haha, I told you, you can't ask questions. Why are you asking questions? Al-Islam said, oh, sorry. I shouldn't have asked you. Okay. I said, no, you can't ask questions. You just have to come with me. Allah will give you the knowledge. I will tell you when the time comes. But until then, you have to keep quiet. Okay. Then he said, all right, let's go. And then they were going and going. After a little while, they saw a lot of children playing. Little children all playing in the ground. Then Hilal al-Islam just was looking at them, and they just called one boy close and hit his neck like this. Like this, like a karate shot. He hit the neck like that. And the boy died. The boy fell dead. Musa al-Islam was so shocked, he forgot that he's not supposed to ask questions. So he asked the Hilal, what's the problem? Why did you do this? This child, you don't even know who it is. Such a nice child, such an innocent child. He didn't do any harm to you or to anybody else. What's wrong with you? Why did you kill him? Then Hilal al-Islam said, look, I told you, you can't ask questions. You're not supposed to ask questions. Don't you know that? Huh? Okay. Sorry. I won't ask questions again. And then he was thinking, why is he doing all these things? He doesn't know. Right? He said, anyway, Allah had told him to go and meet this person also. He went on with it. And they were going for a little while. And then they came to a village where the people were really bad, right? The people refused to give them anything. By this time, Hilal al-Islam and Musa al-Islam were hungry and thirsty. They wanted to eat or drink or something like that. The village people just chased them away, saying, no, we won't give you anything. Everybody quickly went inside and closed their this thing. Children don't, Barira with Rifkan, don't disturb the classroom. When you keep talking to somebody on this thing, you're disturbing others, right? Because people keep looking at you and then they forget to follow the story. Okay, so just sit back and listen. Later you can say hello to your friends. Okay, right. So these people went around the village and nobody was taking any notice of them. And when they were just coming outside like this, there was a wall that was almost falling down. Right? It is all broken, the stones had come out and it was almost falling down, belonging to the village. So then Hilal al-Islam, now they are hungry and thirsty. Village people didn't help them anything at all, but still, Hilal al-Islam stopped there, went up to the wall and sat and built it up nicely. Totally, he built it up. Then Musa al-Islam was, what's wrong with you? Now these people did not even give you a drop of water and they didn't give you anything to eat and they chased us away. This is their wall. Why are you building it? If you build, at least you could have told them, okay, we will build the wall for you, but at least give us some food and give us some money. Then Halil alayhi salam said, oh, okay. I told you no questions. This is the end of it, because I've come to the end of my tether, right? I can't tolerate this questioning anymore. So from now you have to go your own way and I have to go my own way. But before that, I will tell you why I was doing these things. From an outsider, it looks like I was doing all bad things to good people and good things to bad people. What is happening? Then he explained, right? This I am doing all this by the will of Allah. What he said was, these boat people, they are in this, they are using the boat to transport people. But there is a king who is a very bad one, a tyrant, who is coming this way, and he, wherever he passes, he is taking off anything and everything that people have, right? So if they have some boats or some money or some horses or properties or anything, he was taking them by force, and then he will not pay them. So when he comes to this boat, now if this boat is totally in good condition with no holes or anything, he will immediately take it. But now he knows that when he looks at the boat is broken, right? There is a hole in it. So because of that, he will not take it. And he will take the other people's things, various other people's things, and go away. But when the king is gone, these people know how to repair it. So they will repair it and they will do the job again. They will be able to transport people again. But if I didn't make a hole, guess what? He would have taken the boat, and then they wouldn't have any boat at all, and they won't be able to buy another one or make another one. That is why Allah made me put a hole. As to the children, he said that particular child that he killed, that one belongs to a very good, pious, God-fearing father and mother. Those two people had been always asking Allah dua, Ya Allah, make our children good children, let them grow up to be good ones, and because of they doing good things, let our children and ourselves also go to heaven. And they've always asking dua like that. But this particular little boy, the qadr was, Allah has kept the qadr for everybody. If he grows up, he would have been a bad one. He would have been a really nasty one. He would have done all the sins, and then the parents wouldn't know whether to help him or not to help him. And because of that, they also might have done some sins, and they might go to hell. So Allah wanted to answer their dua, where they said, Ya Allah, send us to the heaven through our own deeds and through our children's deeds. So Allah listened to their duas, and Allah answered the duas, and because of that, Allah told Hilal alayhi salam to make him die. And now, after that, Hilal alayhi salam said, Allah will give them another child. So Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, later they had a daughter, and the daughter grew up to be very God-fearing, very pious, with taqwa, and grew up to be a very nice daughter, and did all the good things, and made the parents also do the good things, and ultimately they all went to heaven. Alhamdulillah. Right? And then about the wall that was built. Why did he go and build the wall that was broken down? Then Hilal alayhi salam explained, under that there had been some treasures. Can you see the treasures here? Right? Under that there was some treasure. This actually belonged to two orphans. their father had died, but the father, when he was alive, he had collected some properties and treasures and all, and he had buried them under this wall and had been always asking dua from Allah, Ya Allah, these people at the moment are very wicked, but one day let my children recover these treasures which I have kept for them, and don't let anybody take. So now the father is dead. Now nobody knows that the treasures are there. But when Hilal Islam came up to there, Allah gave him the knowledge, it is here. So if this wall was broken down, one day one of these bad people in the village might come forward and want to get the wall repaired. And when they try to repair, they might have dug, because you have to put the foundation now. They might have dug deep and they might have found this treasure. Though they will know that this treasure belongs to really the orphan, they wouldn't give it. They will just take it because they are bad people. So now that the wall is built, nobody will dig in it until the children become big. When they become big, Allah will make it known to the boys, and they will recover. So this is the story that we have learned. So now when we have stories like this, Allah does not tell stories to us just for the fun of it, right? There's always something for us to learn, for us to understand, for us to assimilate, to take it into our mind. Okay, I learned that, and therefore I'm going to follow the lessons that I have listened. So what are the lessons that we have learned? Right. Okay, now can you unmute everybody? Shall we ask them to answer? I think last time also I asked these questions. So children, can you answer the question? What are the things that you learned from this story? Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah. Here are the big boys, the ones who you normally answer. Right. Anybody wants to answer the questions? What are the lessons that you all learned? This.
I learned
Yes.
that things aren't always bad as they seem.
What's that?
I learned that things don't look as bad as they seem sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes they might look bad, but actually they are not bad. Whatever that is happening in this world, it might very good that you got that point. Whatever that happens to you, it looks bad, but Allah says, on one side Allah says, وَالْقَدْرَ خَيْرِهِ وَشَرِّهِ مِنَ اللَّهِ تَعَالَى. That is the qadr. Whatever that is happening, whether it is good or bad, it looks like good or bad to us, everything comes from Allah. And then Allah also says, whatever that is coming to you from me is always good. But you may not see the good immediately. You may see the good only later. And because of that, you might think it's bad, but it's really good. But the goodness may be shown to you long later. So you have to always believe in that, and you have to always ask Allah to show us how to find the goodness. Now, for that, Allah has taught us a dua also. Allah says, whenever anything happens to you, any bad thing that looks like a bad thing happens to you, you must ask the dua. The dua is, you say, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Allahumma indaka ahtas musibati ajurni fiha wa badalni minha khayra. That means we have come from you, we are coming back to you. Because Allah has created us, and one day we'll go back to Him and He will look after us. If we are good, Allah will give us the heaven and keep us there with everything provided for us. We are coming back to you. Meanwhile, whatever is happening here, you are the one who is looking after us, and because of that, when a problem happens, I give the problem to you. And I have given the problem to you. I'm going to be patient, knowing there'll be some good in it, and you will make it good for me. And not only that, make this bad thing into something good. Now see, the both people will be saying, at that time they would have been very sad. But later they will be saying, God, Alhamdulillah, that person made a hole. Because of that, the king did not take our boat. And because of that, we escaped. Now we can repair it, and they'll recover. The parents would, actually the parents would not even know that the child would have grown into a bad. But because they are so pious, they will know this fact. Whatever that is happening to us happens by Allah's will, and there is something good. So they would have been patient and say, Inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un. Give us something better than this, then Allah would have given them a daughter. Right? So like that, any bad thing can be converted to good things by Allah's will. That is, for the people who believe in that and who ask Allah to make it good. And also, for us being patient, Allah will reward us. Okay. That is the main lesson that we learn. Okay, what else did we learn from this story? Yes?
Miss, I have
A big girl, your hands are up. You have put your hand up. So what are the other lessons? What more?
Yeah.
One more lesson that you
No,
can.
Zahra wants to ask you a question. Why Musa alayhi salam wasn't allowed to ask questions?
By Musa alayhi salam?
Wasn't allowed to ask questions.
That is, when some things like this happen, some of the things that are mentioned, now we actually don't know the full story. Right, exactly, and so on. Hilal alayhi salam might have explained, we don't know. The stories that come to us in the Quran and Hadith are just the basic facts only. There might have been, or on the other hand, according to some imams, it is to see, when you go to learn anything, patience is very important. Right now, you know that even in the class, sometimes teacher will say, okay, I'm going to take this class. Until the class is over, nobody should ask questions. Nobody should speak up. If there are questions, you can ask later. Right? So similarly, now even I say, while I'm doing the story, now nobody to question, the speak. Right? There may have been some reason for that. Now, because they have been traveling a lot of time, it doesn't sound plausible like a classroom. We don't know. Actually, we don't know. But this is a lesson for us to say, when the teacher, a person who is teaching you, it could be a school teacher, it could be a life teacher, it could be a parents, it could be anybody above you, say, okay, now if you want to learn something from me, these are the rules and regulations, then we should say, okay, after when you allow me, I will ask questions, I will do this, I will do that, and things like that. Maybe that, right? That is one of the lessons that we are learning. Okay, good question. Any other lesson that we learned? Today, I don't think we have time for another story, right? We have to stop, right? Right. Any lesson we have learned? Okay. Since nobody is answering, I'll tell you all. I told you all last time. I'm sure that some of you know. So maybe that is why they are not answering. Right. The most important thing for us to remember is that the most knowledgeable of everybody and anything is Allah. Right? He knows everything and he's aware of everything. He can see everything. He can hear everything. He can see everybody at the same time, not only in this world, but in the whole universe. His vision, his seeing is so different from us. He knows everything. He knows even before we say something, he knows that we will say something. Even before we think of something, Allah knows we will think of something. So Allah knows. So we have to always remember, and that doesn't mean it's a bad thing for us. It's a wonderful thing. Right now, yeah, that's why we say, "Ya'lamu ma bayna aydihim wa ma khalfahum." Allah knows what is in front of us, what is to come to us, and what has got us. So when we know that Allah is there, Allah knows everything, Allah is watching, Allah is protecting me, I'm trusting Allah to look after me, and because of that, I don't have to fear, I don't have to get scared of anything or anybody, anywhere, because all the time Allah is in charge. As long as you are good, Allah said, I will protect you. So it is up to us to obey Him. To obey Him is not a very thing, right? That's it.
Manal Malik has a question. Why did the why were the village people bad? Manal Malik,
Yeah.
why were the village people bad?
People who are bad, even in Sri Lanka, you know, if you go to some places and ask for any help, some people will never do. But some people, you don't even have to ask. They will come and ask and give and, you know, help you and come and ask you to come inside the house. Sit and eat and drink and sleep here and go. You can rest here and all that. So there are all sorts of people. So these village people were like that. So in the world, you will always find good people and bad people. See, the both people were so good, though they were very poor and they were earning by just riding, using a boat, but they were willing to take Hilal alayhi Islam and Musa alayhi Islam without even taking money. Right? They were good. So you will find in this world good people and bad people. Sorry?
Any other questions?
Yeah. There's another question. Okay, let's finish with let's talk about the lesson. So first is Allah is knowledgeable, Allah knows everything. That's a huge consolation for us. Allah knows everything that is happening to us, what will happen to us, what people are thinking, what people are doing, Allah knows. So you only have to ask Allah, Allah will help you. Second is you should never be proud. Right? Musa alayhi Islam thought he is the most knowledgeable. For us never to be proud and always say, there may be somebody who is better than me. There may be somebody who is prettier than me. There may be somebody who is richer than me, who is more knowledgeable than me. Yeah, sort of thing. You must be humble. Then when you are ordered by Allah, that you have to go and learn how to study. Right? So depending on the teacher's orders, rules, you have to follow them. Otherwise, that is what Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said after talking about this Quranic verse and all. He said, in vain Musa Alaihi Wasallam could have kept his mouth shut. No, he could have stayed a little more patient. No, why did he have to ask the question so much? Right? So even Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was sad because he said, oh, it's sad, he was not very upset about it, but he said, then we would have heard more and more things what Allah is doing for what reasons, right? So that is the third. And the fourth thing is that for us to know, as you said, one of the person answered, anything that is happening to us has a very, very, very good thing coming. That's why Rasulullah said, every trial is but a blessing in disguise. Every trial, every problem, every difficulty, everything that is happening to us is but a blessing in disguise. Now, if that bad thing did not happen to you, something worse would have happened to you. Like that king would have taken the boat away. So, we always remember this and keep asking Allah to show the good thing. And in our lives, when a bad thing happens, we must look around and see, okay, what is the good thing that is coming? And if we keep looking at it, we'll find. And then we'll say, that's why. Many people, It is happening. The bad thing happens and then the good thing happens. And they don't put two and two together and say, because of that only this happened. They don't know that. They just think, oh, that happened, this happened, and what is happening. They don't think like that. Now we know Musa alayhi salam story, and because of that, we can always look for the reason why a bad thing happens. Right?
Okay. Another question.
Yeah.
Why does this have to be read on a Friday?
Sorry, again.
Why does this surah have to be read on a Friday?
Because Allah says so. Right? Because Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam says so. Right? He could have said Thursday, he could have said Monday, but Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, recite it on Friday. Some of the things there is no particular reason except that he said so. There may be a reason, there may not be a reason, but for the moment we are not told why. But Rasulullah said, okay, recite it on a Friday, and because that we recite it on a Friday. Doesn't mean you should not recite it on another day. You can recite it on other days. You can recite it every day if you like to, no problem. Because the stories that is mentioned there are teaching you a lot of lessons. So you have to understand the lesson and take them as practical lessons for your life. At least Friday, everybody will be, all the, we'll be going to the Jummah and we think of it as a special day. We take a bath and then get ready to go to the Jummah, and then they listen to the khutbah and come and on. So on that day, if everybody recites the Surah Kahf, then you are in a mood of piety. Maybe that, or maybe, there is no reason. Just Allah says. Right? Okay. Shall we stop there? It's almost 4:45. We are supposed to stop. Any other questions? Any other comments? How did you all like the stories, children?
Yes, the story was interesting. It was great.
What did you say?
Excuse me, miss, it was interesting.
Alvi, what did she say?
It was great.
It was great. It was interesting.
Alhamdulillah. Very good. Jazakallahu khairan. Now I have some more stories. I'm going to tell you all the stories from Surah Kahf one by one. So next time I will tell you about the Surah Kahf, why it got the name Surah Kahf.
It was very interesting.
The cave. Right? So I'm going to tell you the cave story next time. Okay. Okay, children, I have another class at 5, so I have to go off. Nasri?
Yeah.
Okay. That's all for today. Okay then. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Waalaikum salam.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.